Alright guys, you've guessed it, it's time for a very obviously correct opinion video from AcridObject here. We're going to be talking about and reviewing, you know it, I know it, The Tomb. It just came out, Season 2 just launched, that's all, you know, multiplayer, who gives a fuck, that's whatever. But we're here to talk about The Tomb, okay? This is the most fun I've had in a zombies game since probably Cold War. And now I know you're just saying like, oh dude, what do you mean that's the last one? But like, you gotta remember, Vanguard zombies and Warzone zombies does exist. So it's the best one I've had since Cold War, I'm gonna be real with you. People really like to shit on zombies and all Call of Duty things as late, and which there's a lot of merit to. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I've really enjoyed playing Terminus, Liberty Falls, and Citadel. All of those are pretty good maps in my opinion. I mean, Liberty Falls it's a filler map, you know. I'm not gonna lie, it's a filler map. I won't wrap around that. But Terminus and Citadel Des Mortis have honestly pretty solid Easter eggs and boss fights. Now, where does The Tomb stand within this lineup? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's pretty disappointing. It feels almost like an insult. There's some part about it that feels unfinished. Like, they probably should have kept it in the oven until the mid-season update, just like Citadel Des Mortis. The Easter egg feels a little underdeveloped. It feels a little rushed. In the trailers, the map looked very big. All of the rooms seemed to be extensive and have pathways, but in reality, all of the rooms just have tall ceilings that make them look big, so it's really not that big. The map is kind of like the size of Liberty Falls, right? It's not really a large map. That being said, it is still sometimes a complete bitch to move around this thing. I will say, I think it's a very pretty map. I think its visual aesthetic is on par with Terminus and Citadel. They did a good job on that, at least. Now, for some reason, this map has the ice staff, but not the other staff, so they're just nostalgia baiting Origins with only one staff. I think this map would be way more peak gameplay if the wind staff, the lightning staff, the fire staff, it would be so good if those staffs were in there. Although I will say the ice staff feels amazing to use. I do like using the ice staff. They did a good job bringing it into this game, but I do miss the other staffs. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a lightning staff, wind staff guy, you know what I'm saying? I like those staffs a lot. I was kind of disappointed when it was only one staff, but you know, what can you do, right? I don't know why they chose death perception as the perk. It seems kind of useless. Like, it's nice to see how many enemies are coming around a corner sometimes. It does help in the boss fight, I will say a little bit, but we'll talk about that more later. I don't know why they wouldn't add something like double tap or mule kick or like even, I don't know, tombstone or something. Like, get me a weirder one than this. Like, death perception is a weird one, but like, give me a weird one that like does something useful. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that they brought back to this map was the mimic. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't give a fuck about the mimic. Dude, like, he doesn't change the map in any way. He's just sort of like another thing to grab you, you know, and it's like I would have rather seen something more interesting or new. I want the Panzers back. That would have been the ultimate Origins nostalgia bait. That would have been cool. No Hellhounds. It's still the same parasite, spider, dog rounds. Like, just give us a fucking dog or something. I'm sick of these fucking spiders. And also, I'm sick of the amalgam. Now listen, the amalgam was cool when it was like the boss enemy who would show up on Terminus, but I didn't think he was gonna fucking be on every map after that. You know, I'm kind of missing the Abomination. You know, I'm kind of like, I thought they were gonna make something new every map, but they're kind of just reusing the same guy each time. Like, from a lore perspective, it doesn't make much sense. I thought they were made in a lab. Why is there like an ancient statue of this guy that they have to sew together? Do they have like a Lego manual for how do they make, like, it's just like, he's just weird. Like, give me a new kind of boss enemy, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of the Easter egg, I don't know why they did this way. I feel like they could have done something a little more intricate with it. Now, I'm not saying that I want to sit there and encrypt fucking Morse code to figure out some shit. Like, Raffleoffles can do the heavy work and he can press X on everything in the map for me. But like, the whole Easter egg is pretty much just get the ice staff, upgrade the ice staff, and then you do the same thing 4 times with a little variation, and then you have the boss fight. Like, you can do it in like I think the world record's already like 20 minutes. I don't know, it feels kind of lame. Not that I want the Easter eggs to be brutally long. Like, Citadel's pushing it a little bit, but I like doing that Easter egg. Like, that's a very fun Easter egg because it has a very fun boss to fight. Now let's talk about the bosses. The Terminus boss, the big patient whatever the fuck, he's really cool. I liked fighting him. I thought that was a fun fight. The Golem, I thought that Golem was such, like, that's my favorite fight in all of zombies so far. I love that fight. Just a big Golem running around. That shit's it was so cool doing that. And then you get to the Tomb. Oh boy, what's the boss fight? Well, it's an ad fight, and it's mid as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's terrible. Now here's the thing. I've noticed that you either have a really easy time with this boss fight, or you have like the most unforgivable struggle that you've ever had. I mean, look at this footage. What are you supposed to do in this situation? And I'm using the hand cannon glitch, and this shit is hard. I don't know if they just wanted to make it harder for people, but for some reason the Mustang and Sally, the ray gun, and the ice staff does nothing against the boss. The boss is completely immune to that. So that leaves you with shooting it. Now, I did a game with my friend, round 29. We thought that the ray gun would work for some reason because we are naive. He had the ice staff and the ray gun, and so he like literally couldn't damage the boss. He could only, target the ads, which was helpful in the end. But I don't know why they would do that. It feels like a slap in the face almost. It's like, oh, this is just like this to make it harder, because like it would be too easy. Like I get that if you had the Mustang and Sally's, you could just like kind of no diff the final fight in Citadel and shit. Like I get that, but I don't understand why you would remove that from this boss fight. And by the way, the phases are fucking crazy. This might be controversial, but I'm gonna say this boss fight is a worse designed boss fight than the Orb of the Undead from Dark Alliance 2001. Now, there's some stark differences here in the fight, but majority-wise, they're kind of the same thing. It's a orb, floating object that you have to shoot or hit once in a while that summons an army of ads at you that you have to kill in order to damage it. Now, which one is more fair? I would say the Orb of the Undead is more fair, because what the fuck is going on here? So the artifact's gonna fly up and shoot lasers, and you gotta shoot it. It has a timer. I don't know what the timer is. It's really short. But if you don't kill that thing in like 5 seconds, you're fucked in some scenarios. And then in the second phase of the fight, it starts going into enemies, and you have to kill the enemies and then quickly shoot that with your machine gun or rifle or whatever to kill it, and it resets really fast. We were struggling to do it with 2 people with fucking fully maxed out LMGs. It was tough. And then once you get through that, they start throwing fucking like 35 amalgams at you. It's just like a fucking nightmare. After all that, the last smidge of the boss fight, phase 3, is a DPS check. And if you fail the DPS check in like, I don't know, it must be like a minute or 30 something seconds or something, you just die and it's fucking over. Like, go fuck yourself, idiot. You just wasted 2 hours of your life. Now hold on, I'm not saying that you shouldn't die at the end there, but the amount of health that this thing has is absurd. It's just, I just don't like the boss fight. Now you see, when you fight the Orb of the Undead, it might take you a couple rounds, but you'll kill it. It rewards you for being careful and not getting hit. In this boss fight, it's like you're just fucking gonna get hit and you're gonna fucking like it. I mean, don't even talk about that fucking ending cutscene with no dialogue. I mean, that really cements it. I think this was like a half-baked kind of rush thing. Like, they really should have waited until the mid-season release to give it some more time. Maybe they could get the voice actors back or something. I don't know. It was a mid-boss fight, mid-ending, mid-Easter egg. Like, is the map fun to play? Like, it's, it's fine. It works fine. The ice staff is a fun time. Easter egg boss fight, however, not a fun time. I mean, it's also just not as cool as like a big golem. It would be nice to fight something instead of like some weird fucking mirror. But yeah, so I don't know, not great. I just hope the mansion is fucking good. I don't know. Maybe we'll fucking, I don't know. Maybe the Easter egg will have to like have sex with Richtofen or something. I don't fucking know.